What's up, guys? Good morning. It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So I'm here at the training facility that I train at. Obviously it is amazing and we have all kinds of equipment here. I don't always get to make videos here, unfortunately, because usually it's packed. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, so there's nobody here. I'm waiting on a client, so if she comes I may have to stop the video. Scott just asked recently some basics of bench pressing and kind of how to bench, how to get bigger on bench, and some different things. So I'm going to cover a couple things that I cover usually with new clients, but also a couple tips of the basics of bench pressing and how to get gains from bench pressing. So first of all, the most important thing is don't go into bench pressing thinking that you have to lift some obscene amount of weight in order to be able to get big. That could be great for strength gains, but not necessarily hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is going to be a muscle response in which your chest gets bigger or your muscles grow in size so that you increase the muscle density as well as the roundness and fullness and everything. So a couple things real quick that I think are really super important are going to be understand your different grips. So the first thing that you're going to go do is you understand right away, if you are inside in the knurling and you're here, that's going to be working your triceps. If you're out here where your pinkies are touching that shiny ring, that's going to be chest and triceps. And then even further, if you're going to be out here, that's going to be all chest. So that's something you should know anytime that you are doing anything with a bench press, okay? Now, as far as the setup, a couple things are pretty important. When you come under the bar, you need to be looking straight up at the bar. And the reason, like eye level, the reason you do that is because when you pick up the bar and cantilever out, you're not running into the pins or the hooks or anything while you're going up and down, which is really important because if you got a substantial amount of weight on there and you come down and hit that pin, it's gonna knock you off and it could potentially be dangerous. Also, never, ever pull max lifts by yourself. If you're going for a new PR, do not do it alone. And if you're lifting alone, do not put collars on the side if you're lifting a good amount of weight. That way, if something happens, you can slide to the side, the weights will drop off, slide to the other side, the weights will drop off. Do not use collars. I've seen a lot of people get hurt, so be very careful and understand that it's a process that you can learn little by little, but safety is number one. So coming back on the bench, I'm gonna bring it back here to eye level. I keep my back flat. A lot of people around it do whatever. Keep your feet flat on the floor, keep them separated away from each other. Get whatever grip works for you. I use a standard grip if I'm benching. I make sure everything's lined up, even distance on either side. I'm gonna get the bench, I'm gonna bring it up, and then I'm just gonna do a couple warm-ups, okay? So we're gonna go to 10. When you come back, make sure this is not bouncing off and coming back onto you. Make sure you are firmly into the rack and then coming back out. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, those are kind of the basics of lifting. 75 to 85% of your maximum load is going to be what you do. Now, I recommend probably getting a gym partner or somebody working with you to figure out these numbers. You can pull a max and say, your 1 rep max, and then you would just go 85% of that. Obviously, if you're finding a 1 rep max, make sure there's somebody with you to be able to make sure you're safe. But something that's really important is that you warm up. So if this is my max, then I need to do maybe 2 or 3 lifts up to it. So I would do like a 25-pound plate, then a 35-pound plate, then a 45-pound plate. Now, say I do 6 and I don't have a buddy to watch me or something. So I do 6 reps and that's my max. I can't get out 8 or whatever. So you can actually go to a 1 rep max calculator, and I'll put a link in the description below, and you can put in, hey, I lifted 135 for 6 or whatever, or 315 for 5 or something like that, and it'll calculate what your 1 rep max is. So then say it says it's 279 or something like that. If it says 279, then you would go 80% of that amount is what you're going to be lifting on a regular basis. So obviously if it's 135, your max would not be 279 or whatever. It would be more like maybe 189 or something like that, or 200. So you have to keep that in mind. But you definitely want to get that 1 rep max, find out what that is, and then be working your normal sets, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps of 75 to 85% of your load. Now, if you're wanting to gain size, you're wanting to gain strength, you want to increase that each and every single week, if and when possible. There will be some weeks where you're not able to do it. If you can't finish every one of your reps, say one day on Monday or whatever on chest day, then you just continue that weight to the next week. Now, until they look clean, because there's no way to move forward if your body is not ready and it's not responding in a proper way. Make sure you got clean all the way reps out. Do some accessory movements like chest flies, dumbbell incline flies, all those things. Do declines, all kind of things to be able to increase your strength. Now, there will be some days where you go in the gym and you're just like balls out, crazy strong. Use that to your advantage. If you feel like one day you can put up 10 pounds new, then put up 10 pounds new, 15, 20 pounds new. It's gonna happen. There will be days where you have super amount of energy, but also remember there will be also days where you don't have much energy at all, and your numbers may go back a little bit, but just keep track, make sure you log every single week. If you can go up by 5 pounds every single week, it's gonna be a huge gain. I will also put a squat bot calculator in the description below. That is something that you would say, okay, I got 135 for 1 rep. You put that information in there and it's gonna pump out you a 12-week program in which you will be able to follow to be able to understand, hey, what do I have to lift in order to be able to make these numbers grow? Now, I don't care who you are, if your reps are 8 to 10 and you're putting up new weight every single week, your chest is gonna grow, your triceps are gonna grow. That's something you also need to remember is you need to work the front of the deltoids, you need to work the triceps, you need to work the chest, the main chest, the upper chest, the lower chest. If you're not working all of these areas, your chest and your bench are not going to grow. So keep that up. Remember, I'm trying to think of anything else. After your sets of 3, or if you decide to do a 5x5, because the 3 sets of 8 to 10 is completely different from the 5x5, so you won't do both. But regardless of which one you do, drop it down to about 30 to 40% of your weights of your 1 rep max. So if you're lifting 135, maybe take this off, put 25s on each side, pop it down to 95, and rep it out like 2 or 3 sets, as many as you possibly can. Doing that, doing those overload lifts at the end, doing those rep outs is gonna be able to help you become stronger. It's gonna tear that muscle down. And the most important thing that I could not stress enough is you have to get proper nutrition. Make sure you're getting your protein, make sure you're getting all of your food, make sure you're eating your food, make sure you're staying on point. If you are trying to gain size, you have to eat in a caloric surplus, okay? You will gain density, you may gain some muscle in the beginning, but if you are looking to gain mass, to create mass, you have to be in a slight caloric surplus. Not every day, but probably on the days that you're lifting. So if you are chest day Mondays, well then maybe you want to be like a 250 calorie surplus on that day. Specifically maybe around your lifts to kind of energize those things. If you guys have any questions, please or put them in the description, in the comment section below. Also check us out on Facebook. Our group is called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. I'm a personal trainer. I'm getting ready to become a life coach. So if you have any questions about that, please ask. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. And I would love to see what your bench maxes are below. Peace.